I'm just going to get right into this quick because I don't want to beat a dead horse. But every time I look at my phone or go on the internet, I'm seeing somebody coming out against Joe Rogan and his podcast. The latest one being a woman named Wendy Zuckerman and a Blythe Terrell. I'm assuming Blythe is a woman. I could be wrong. Please don't get offended because that name, I don't know. But anyways, they have an award-winning science podcast on Spotify called Science Versus. And apparently they have notified Spotify that they are no longer going to do their regular show due to Joe Rogan's COVID-19 misinformation. They say that they are science health professionals and their show was given the resources by Spotify to make accurate content regarding coronavirus. Now, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm nobody. But what makes their information accurate and okay, but not the information coming from Rogan's podcast where he's speaking to experts in the medical field pertaining to certain things like vaccines or the making of vaccines or just medicine in general, someone who may be a heart surgeon or whatever. They're medical experts. Some have been published many, many times in medical journals. One has, I believe, 6 patents regarding making vaccines. Again, you can look it up. That's what I read and that's what I hear. So I'm just telling you what I hear. I don't know that to be true. But why would they say it if it's not true? So I guess my point is, why are these people with this Science Versus podcast, why are they so upset if they believe that Rogan, his guests are spreading misinformation? Why don't they counter it? Which apparently they want to, because they're not going to do their regular show, but they're only going to do shows that are intended to counteract misinformation being spread on Spotify. But why, again, why is their information 100% accurate and the medical professionals that Rogan has, their information is no good? I said this in my last cast that people should be smart enough to make their own informed decision, their own educated decision. If you're listening to somebody on a podcast or in a TV show or whatever, are you going to run out and do something because they said it? No. If you're feeling sick, what do? You call your doctor, right? You make an appointment, you go in, you see what's going on. Your doctor will give you a recommendation as to what he or she thinks you should do for whatever illness you have. So, but apparently people are taking this information and running with it, which I believe is their own fault. Why are you going to fault a podcast for spreading misinformation when these people that are having conversations with Rogan, again, are experts in their field, and they're giving their opinions on certain subjects, and nobody likes it. Nobody wants to hear both sides. You only want to hear one side. Apparently they want to hear the side of this Science Versus podcast, which I've never heard. I'm assuming it's good. I don't deny it. They're probably scientific experts. Apparently they won an award in 2020 from the American Association of Advanced Sciences. They won some gold award for their reports on the pandemic. Kudos to them. No one's looking down on them. So why are they looking down on the experts that Rogan has on? How about this? How about everybody get together? Maybe these people in this Science Verse podcast should contact the experts that Rogan talks to, and maybe they can share information and come up with some middle ground as to what maybe can be done to stop any virus, anything. It doesn't have to be coronavirus. It could be any illness. Instead of bickering and bitching and moaning and whining about he's spreading misinformation, we're not going to do our show no more. What is that proving, and what is it doing for anybody? If they believe that their information is accurate, who's telling them their information is accurate? Are there fact checkers in the basement with the computers saying, oh, Terrell and Zuckerman, you hit the nail right on the head with this? But the experts that Joe Rogan had on, they don't know what they're talking about. They've only been practicing medicine for a probably combined 100 years, but they don't know what they're talking about. That's what people are saying. No one wants to admit that somebody else may be right and they may be wrong. Now again, I don't know who's right or who's wrong. I don't know the first thing about science. The only thing I did in high school science, I lit a friggin' Bunsen burner. That was it. I know nothing about it. Apparently, these people are experts in their field. They must be to win an award for reporting on coronavirus. I don't think they just give that to anybody. Well, in today's day and age, you never know. They give awards for anything. But that's beside the point. I think my point is, everybody wants to complain and bitch and moan about this one saying this and this one saying this. First, it's musicians like Neil Young and Joni Mitchell. We want our music taken down. Joe Rogan spreading misinformation. How the hell do they know? How do they know that the information coming from that podcast is wrong? Are they experts? No. They're musicians. Old musicians, I might add. I think Neil Young's like 76 or something. Joni Mitchell, who the hell knows how old she is. And nothing against them. I don't happen to like their music. But Rogan even came on when he was talking about it, why people are going nuts. Neil Young wanted to take his music down. He's like, I'm a fan. I've always been a fan. And he said, I apologize that he was upset by my podcast. But what makes Neil Young and Joni Mitchell an expert that if he don't stop talking about this, you can take my music down? That's going to hurt them. It's not going to hurt Joe Rogan, and it's not going to hurt Spotify. It's going to hurt them. And then these other people come out with this podcast, this Science Versus show, that they're not going to do it no more. They're not doing their regular show until Spotify does something. And they did say that Spotify's not doing enough, and until they implement stronger methods to prevent the spread of misinformation, they'll no longer make their Science Versus episodes. So who's that hurting? I think it's hurting Terrell and Zuckerman. I personally don't think it's going to hurt Spotify. But why can't people just get on the same team? I don't care what political affiliation you're with. I don't care if you're left, right, or in the middle. If you're a scientist and you're a medical expert, why can't people just put all this smart together and come up with a solution instead of protesting and taking our show down or pulling their music? Like, does anybody really care that they pulled their music? Maybe somebody does. I don't know. Again, I don't listen to it, so I could care less. But it's like this woke culture that we're living in the last 3 years. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. Everybody wants to bicker. Everybody wants to complain. But nobody wants to get on the same playing field. Why is one group right and the other group wrong? How do we know they're all not wrong? Or they're all not right? Because Zuckerman and Terrell said these other doctors were wrong? Well, that's what they said. Where are they getting their information from? What kind of research are they doing? Are they doing the same kind of research as these other doctors? I don't know. But how about coming together for the good of everybody? And again, come up with a cure or a drug or something that helps everybody, no matter what the illness is. We all know there's billions of dollars poured into the pharmaceutical companies today. We all know this. It's no secret. And every company has their own brand, if you will, of a medication. There's generic medications, there's brand name medications. Some are more money than others. But they're all competing against each other because they're all trying to make money. They're all trying to make money. I'm not making any money on it, but I got to pay for the medication. Everybody's, oh, healthcare, healthcare. Yeah, healthcare is fantastic. It's wonderful. But it's not free. Nothing's free. If you need a medicine, you got to pay for it. And some medicines are expensive. And all these scientific geniuses, they just got to go at each other's throats instead of coming together in one room, if you will, and just do the right thing for everybody. Because no one knows if they're right or if the other side is right. Everybody could be right. They all could be wrong. Yeah, these people on this Science Verse podcast won this award. Well, who gave them the award? Is there politics involved? Because you know how I feel. Politics is involved in everything. But it shouldn't be. Not in science. Not in medicine. Those clowns sitting in Congress aren't doctors and scientists. Oh, there may be a few. But no. Half of them been there for 40 years. They don't care. They're Democrats. They're Republicans. There might be some independents. They all got their own agenda. And some are on this pharmaceutical company side, and some are on this side. And it's never going to be an even playing field, and we're never going to really know the truth, because you don't know who to believe. Because if one person says something that sounds like, oh, that's good information, it sounds like they know what they're doing, the other side's going to come back and say, they don't know what they're doing, they're spreading misinformation, I'm not doing my show unless you cancel them or take them down or blah, blah, blah. Everybody is complaining about something, and nothing's ever going to change until these people wake up and decide, you know what? We got to put our egos aside and do what's right for everybody. Let's not make billions of dollars for all these pharmaceutical companies. Let's do it with one, and maybe all the other ones will get on board. I know, wishful thinking, right? But does it make sense? Let me know in the comments if you think that makes sense, because I do. I do. Because the older you get, you know you're going to get sick. You're going to need medication. You don't know, and I'm not going to get my medical advice off a podcast or off a TV show or on some radio. I'm not getting my advice from them. I'll listen to it, and maybe I'll listen to all of it. And I might do some research on it. But I'm going to go to my own medical people and say, what do you think? You know me, you know my health, blah, blah, blah. What do you think I should do? I'm not just going to run out and go to my doctor and say, hey, can you get me this pill? I saw fucking Joe Blow's podcast. He said it was really good. No. Anybody who does that, then they got an issue because they're not doing the research. They're not doing their homework. They're not making an educated decision for their own good. And that's the problem. The problem is everybody's flying off the handle for no reason other than to say, my feelings are hurt because that information is false. I don't believe what they're saying. And the other side's saying the same thing. They're full of shit. You should believe me. No one knows who to believe. So again, how about getting on the same page and doing what's right for everybody? Stop pushing the $1 billion into these companies. Stop with who can make the most money, who can come up with the cure first. Get together and do it for everybody for the right reasons, not to fill your pockets. Now, I don't know if this Terrell and Zuckerman are wealthy. I don't know if the other doctors are. I really don't care. But if you're that smart, you know that much about medicine and all these viruses that we're seeing, maybe you should put your heads together and come up with a solution. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm tired. It's every day. It's something new. And they're bashing Joe Rogan. He's only talking to people. He's not coming up with this off the top of his head. He's talking to people about what they're involved in, What's their research? What are they studying? And people are going nuts because they're talking about it. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. But you don't have to friggin' take your ball and go home because you don't like what they're saying. It's just like a TV show. If you're watching a TV show and it sucks, are you going to sit there and watch the whole thing? No, I think you're going to shut it off. Change the channel. And if you sit there and watch the shitty show, then that's your problem. And it's the same thing with this misinformation bullshit. We don't know who to believe. Everybody could be right. Everybody could be wrong. That's the 10th time I've said that. And I'm just going to end this. Stop the bullshit. Stop the bickering. Get on the same page. Because people are getting sick. People need, and not only coronavirus, people are getting sick. There's everything out there. Okay? Get on the same page and do what's right for everybody. Not for what's good for this side, that side, or the middle. End of rant. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this cast. If you haven't liked this video already, please like it. I'd appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified of another episode coming up. I hope everybody is healthy and safe. Oh, and share my videos with someone if you will. I like spreading my word around. I don't know what my word is, but I like talking. So I'd appreciate it if you did that. That's it. Have a great night. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. And we'll see you soon with something else. Take care.